What's up everyone? You are in the market for your Leopard power catamaran, and in fact this video is about a Leopard 53, so you're really in business on how to save about 20%, $245,000 based off of our early calculations here. So my name's Chris Mortimer, I'm the principal here at Yacht Zero, and what we're trying to do is make sure that people buy better boats at the right prices. How do we do it? It's pretty much a science at this point, but we leverage data and analytics that aren't typically being shown to you and most people ignore. With that said, whether you're buying a Leopard, a Horizon, a Sunreef, whatever it might be, this strategy works the same. And the information you're provided here might not be totally in real time. So make sure you check out our website or follow the links on this video. And we're gonna make sure that you have the information you need to make the right purchasing decision. A Leopard 53, obviously you love it because of the space that it allows you to have. The platform that it provides is probably the most sleek and aggressive looking power catamaran that exists in its class. It's built in South Africa, so whether you're considering any of the other alternatives, you know that you like that cockpit setup with the sun lounger is incredible. The flybridge is best in class, and you have straight shafts, which makes it really nice. Obviously, the considerations with any power catamaran: where are you going to dock it? Always a challenge. Who's going to service it? Always a challenge. And what do you do since there's several on the market right now and your leverage as a future seller might be a little bit challenging? That's really the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, it's really important that we look at the numbers of the Leopard 53s currently on the market. So right here we have the Leopard 53 power catamarans on the market from 2020 to 2023. Every time you hover over these dots, it's going to give you additional information. Engine hours, time on market, where it is. You can then hover over it, you can select and filter out what you want to look at. Again, additional information on our website. But what this chart shows us is right now everything is priced fairly reasonably. This should fall within a line. There's no big outliers up or down from 2020 to 2023 models. Now, these are sized by engine hours. So the 2020, which is the one for all intents and purposes we're looking at buying, that has the most hours on market. So in theory, that needs to play into our decision. To the normal eye, it makes sense that they're all listed appropriately, and so we might go on the best deal. Moving on to the second chart, the bar chart showing how long these Leopard 53s have been on the market, it kind of tells us a very different story. When we look at the entire market and we see how long they've been listed, outside of the 2022 model Freedom that just came to market, they've all been on the market nearly double or triple what it historically takes a Leopard power cat, specifically the Leopard 53s, to sell. So not only are there 4 options giving a buyer leverage, but none of them are moving, which signals a market stagnation across the board. So it almost wants to reset those boats that are currently listed. So then we segue to the next important factor, which is not only what's available, but what has sold previously. So this is what really smart buyers look for. And this works for Leopard, Sunreef, no matter what you're buying anywhere in the world. The important thing to look at on this chart is the points that are crosses. These represent the Leopard 53s that are for sale. What you notice across the 2020, 2022, and 2023 models is that the crosses are higher on the chart than the lowest circle, which that indicates that the boat's current asking prices versus what they've sold for in the prior year are above that. To spell this out further, the current boats on the market are asking more than what the last buyer paid for a year ago, without factoring in depreciation, a cooling market, more available, which introduces a tremendous buying leverage that you've now just been introduced to. Now, again, yachts aren't priced efficiently. That's why we have this channel, and that's why we've built our entire business to protect buyers and make sure they know this. Sometimes sellers don't get told this information until an offer is submitted. Sometimes they never get told this information. So now that you have it, you have a little bit extra ammo in your arsenal to make sure that you buy the right boat at the right price. But what really shines crazy light on what's going on here is seeing how they've sold over the time since the inception of when they were built. Okay, what we're gonna do here on this chart is we have all of the boats that have sold. We have all the boats that are actively listed for sale. And you can see yet again the same thing we saw in the last chart. The current asking prices are higher than what they sold for over a year ago. So we're gonna filter out just at the 2020 model, which we're looking at, and you can see what it sold for brand new. You then see in COVID when it ran up, and you can see where it sold last and where it's currently its asking price. So in this chart, when we look at the entire sales history, we can see clearly when looking at the 2020 models that the pre-COVID price new was just over $1.4 million. And then it sold for 16.5% more in just 1 year with that COVID demand spike. Since the 2021 high to last year in 2024, that's a $143,000 drop in value annually, or through the straight line depreciation model. It's 8.7% value that the boat loses. So if we take this same math and apply it, that puts the value of the boat today at just over $1 million, $1 million and change. And factoring that in, again, every one of these boats, even though they're different years, is in a race against the next one to sell. Right now, sometimes we look at this information and it's not totally convincing or overwhelmingly in one direction. This is a no-brainer. If you're a Leopard 53 owner, I'm sorry, you're about to take a little bit of a beating, but if you're in the market to buy one of these boats, you've just saved yourself about $245,000. So my question to you is, if we're prepared to save you $245,000 right now, what are we gonna do when you're our client and buying and selling all your boats in the future? With that said, we appreciate you for watching. We appreciate the future business that's to come. But again, the information is never being presented to you when you're buying a boat. Everything is how great it is, how terrific, because you can't give a bad review when you're on someone else's boat, when you're trying to sell it. It's an entire industry predicated on making everything more glamorous. But you've heard that saying, the best day you buy a boat and the worst day you buy a boat. We're trying to avoid that. It is avoidable by buying the right boat at the right price, having the right people around you, and having systems in place for you to be able to enjoy the boat the way you want to enjoy it. My name is Chris Mortimer from Yacht Zero, and I look forward to being your yacht purchasing advisor. Thanks so much for watching. Happy yachting, my friends.